Joe, is that you? Tell me what it's like in heaven. And the ghost of Father Joe said, well, you'll be surprised who is there. And then he paused, and then he said, you'll be surprised who isn't there. And with that, the ghost of Father Joe is gone. Today we hear, of course, Jesus now passes through towns and villages, teaching as he went and making his way to Jerusalem. And please note, no one ever made a deal with Jesus. And yet we heard in today's gospel, someone in the crowd asks Jesus, Lord, how many people are going to be saved? Who's going to heaven? Who's going to hell? And could you please tell us now? And Jesus, as you'd expect, gets pretty angry, because as they said way back in the 1960s, I know there's nobody here from that particular decade, probably like to those two old priests, we do not only don't know the answers, we certainly don't even know the questions to ask Jesus. And this question, please note, was never in Jesus' mind. Who's going to be saved, and actually who's going to be lost? And Jesus feels, of course, that he's done enough talking. He's trying to show everything to do with life. Jesus has walked, he's talked, he's taught, he's preached, he's on his way to Jerusalem. He's about to suffer and die and rise from the dead, and this is the whole message. And yet, as we know, the people are not listening. They want to know what's actually going to happen in the future, what's going to happen after they die. And Jesus basically nods and says, it doesn't matter what happens after you die, what actually matters is how you live, and live right now. Leave all the future to God, because he's the one who decides what's happening in the future. Jesus has asked his friends to follow, to listen to their heart, to put his words into practice. And Jesus keeps saying, as you know, I will show you how to heal, I'll show you how to help, I'll show you how to bring new life to other people. And in a grumpy mood, Jesus says, enter by the narrow door. Sounds like only a few will be saved by him saying this. But please note, this morning, we too entered this church through a bit of a narrow door. I know we opened it up wide for you to leave, but you've got to enter through a narrow door to get in here. And we take part in that ritual of God's love. We come by that narrow door. We focus our heart and our attention. We come into this church. We break bread together and become the people of God. And it's wonderful, as you'd expect, for Lorraine to become one of us. Well, I hope they're one of us and one of them and those sorts of things too. To be baptised in the church and literally to be caught up having passed through the door as well. Michael Jordan, that famous basketballer, said, if you give me 5 basketball players who can focus, I'll give you the world championship. I hope those All Blacks are listening to that as well. And like Mark Twain said, you can't depend on your eyes when your imagination is actually out of focus. We have to keep focusing. That decision, the choices that we make in our life. God's not going to come and demand that we all do this or we all do that, and the other way you're going to be lost or you're going to be saved. Take your own